Mm.
Rebecca, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Lee.
Okay, thank you.
I can't hear
Okay, good.
unless I put speaker on.
Yeah, we can hear you, Director Gibson. We can hear we're just waiting a few minutes to start the meeting. We're trying to get the live streaming going and the monitor. So the live streaming's
Okay.
on, and we have Deborah, Pam, and Jim. And Oscar
Okay.
won't be here.
Can I leave my speaker on, or does that cause problems?
We're not hearing a problem.
Okay.
Sounds okay.
Okay, I'm
Okay, thank you.
gonna grab a couple.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and start, even though we can't see anything on the monitor. So I'm gonna call this meeting of the Fraser Park Public Utility District to order. This is for Thursday, January 11th, 2024. We're starting at 6:05 p.m. We have an additional teleconference location of 820 Elm Trail in Fraser Park. And so I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. The first thing is we're going to start with the pledge to the flag. All rise, please. Ready? Begin.
Hi.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible.
Okay, I'm going to do this delay. Okay, roll call of directors. We're going to start with Director Garcia.
Here.
Hi.
Here.
Here. Director Gibson.
Here.
And I'm Director Schoenberg. I'm here. That's all present. Okay, we're going to go to item number 2, discussion vote, adjust agenda if necessary. I do believe we have an adjustment to the agenda.
I move that we move 17 and 18 down after 21.
And is there anything else? Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call directors, unless there's any discussion on that. Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye. So noted. Those 2 items will be moved to between 21 and 22. Okay, public comments. Is there anyone with public comments? Items not currently listed on the agenda. We're asking you to limit that to about 5 minutes. Thank you. Any public comments? Okay, hearing none. We will move to item number 4, report of officers, starting with the president. I believe I'm president now because yes. So I don't have anything to report. Vice president.
No report.
Okay, secretary.
I signed some minutes.
Okay, treasurer.
I transferred to, do you want me to do that now or? Okay, fine. Okay. I transferred 2 transfers from Lake of the Woods Planning. One for $566.60 for board fees, and the other one was for $65 for staff recovery fees, both into the operating from claim 35.
Okay.
And just so you know, I went into the
We looked at the bond.
I gave her access.
Yeah.
And got her reset. And also, I did make a change on, we had done the reserve, the replacement fund, the 2 replacement funds. We did it for the year. But the one for number 6, I went ahead and put it as indefinite because it's always the same amount. It's the 9,900 something. So I changed that to one indefinitely. So in October, we'll have to revisit to look at 3 and 4 to see what those should be going in there at that.
Okay. Anything else? Any questions? Okay, and JPIA representative?
Nothing to report.
Okay. Moving on to item number 5, board member initiatives. Are there any board member initiatives? Okay, item number 6, managers report.
All right, we have, I got a call today, I didn't talk to the lady, but, the spruce trail that we paid for the water remediation from the leak in the national forest, apparently he turned the claim into his insurance, which I don't know why, because I told him we had insurance, I gave him my card, but anyway, Monday I'll contact her, find out what we can do to maybe prevent the claim or let him file the claim with our insurance instead of through his. That's not really a problem. You guys know about the claim on Pico. There's a guy that is buying a house when Summit, right after the North End leak. When Summit cut loose, it went into his garage. The water remediation guy said that they refused to let him move boxes and stuff like he should have because the house was still in escrow. But he wrote a report that the garage was in disarray and that it definitely looked like there had been prior leaks into the garage. I don't know what's gonna happen with that either. The portable generators, or the portable generator I took down to PTS to get it serviced and pressure washed and cleaned. So then hopefully I'll get an offer from what PTS thinks they might want to pay for that generator. He explained to me that it's probably going to be worth around $35,000 because it's an interim tier 4 and it has to be sold out of state. He can't even put it in his rental fleet. But he got it, I think, in 2012. So even though it's low hours, it's old technology as far as that goes. But anyway, whenever he does it, when he submits it, I'll give you guys the offer. If you're not happy with that, he said we could do one or two things. We could try to put it on consignment, or we could just take it to the auction house, which we would get probably far less from the auction house unless we did it with someplace out of state. So I'll be bringing that back to you. The load banks, the latest update on the load banks is the beginning of March, first week of March, hopefully. So I went down and I spent almost $4,000. I've been trying to research how we're going to move those things without damaging them. The pick points for those generators is at the bottom. There's eyelets at the top, but that's just to remove the aluminum cut body of it if you need to work on stuff. The pick points are at the bottom, so if you try to hook cables to the bottom, they're going to pinch and they're going to smash that aluminum thing. So
You're talking about a fork.
no, I bought a spreader bar that it's like an I-beam kind of with holes in it, and it's going to go crossways over the generator. Then we could hook up the slings where we're going to have the slings at the bottom of the generators, and the spreader bar is going to keep it from pinching the cabinet.
Okay.
And that's how it's going to be secured onto the great all of the forklift so we can move it without tearing those things apart, because that's exactly what would happen.
Yeah.
I placed a call to a couple places that do that stuff. Nobody was interested in dealing with generators, placing them on top of a mountain in the wintertime up steep trail. So I went ahead and spent the money. After we're done with it, we could try to eBay the spreader bar and try to recoup some of our costs. Or maybe I could reach out to some of the companies that do that for a living. They might want to buy that. So, another fender bender for me on the F-250. I went up to check Harrison tank. The fog was rolling in. It was muddy. Tried to get out of the way of a UPS truck. And there was a broken down car stuck out in the middle of the little dirt trail. I thought I cleared it, kind of hooked the side of the bed. So that's already in the body shop. It's already gone through insurance. I did the drug test, alcohol test, all that stuff, but,
And you were negative?
no, I was positive.
Okay.
Just for stupidity and carelessness apparently, but other than that, I was clear, so. So that's all I got, unless you guys got questions.
Were you gonna bring up the, putting into the insurance, or are you gonna do that in the?
Oh, yeah, now the AAA, the water remediation, they're like $1,500, $1,600, two of them. I feel like even though we don't. There's supposed to be a limit on $10,000 before it affects our insurance. I feel like the more we claim $1,500 here, 2,000 there, it's gonna affect our rates in the long term. So we may just wanna eat that cost, for the water remediation. But if you guys want me to, I will submit both of those as a claim to our insurance.
I'm personally very concerned that the people may come back later. I particularly on these, because of what happened, I'm concerned about if we don't submit it, because they do their own investigation and stuff, and then you also said there's already a potential issues with one of them. So I think it would be a kind of a safety measure for us, even if it raises some of our stuff, for having them come back after the fact, like we pay out of pocket and then they ask us again, who knows?
Then if the treasurer could pull out those two invoices,
That's the two, invoices.
AAA,
Yeah,
They're right there.
AAA deflating or whatever, then I'll make copies and.
they're in the packet, Deborah's.
They're in the packet
Oh,
of Deborah, not the
Not the
check
checks.
we're paying.
Yeah, we're gonna pay that, but then we would need to ask the insurance for.
Yeah, I need to file a claim on Monday. and Fill them out,
Tell them that we paid it.
Yeah.
Already.
of course, well, yeah. Well, I'll make a copy of the check stub too, so we paid it.
I mean, does the rest of the board agree with that? I mean,
I do.
Yes, I do.
Direction,
Cool.
anything else? Any other questions for Johnny? Okay, and how about the 6A administrative assistance report?
The only thing I have is we did finally get the quote in for upgrading the audio video equipment for the meetings. It didn't make it in time to be on the agenda for this meeting, but I'll have it on the agenda in 2 weeks.
And it's a little pricey, but I'm still gonna say that we need to do it. You see the kind
Yeah,
of, see the issue we're having, with this continually, so when you get the thing.
Real stuff.
We all can make a decision.
Really hard to look, at least for me over here, if there was somebody who wanted to make a presentation, and we're
Yeah.
always having some kind of problem with the audio and the video, so.
Oh, and I'll tell you again in the next meeting, but my I won't be here for the meeting around the 15th of February through 20th. I'm taking my wife to see her brother in New York for our 20th anniversary. They'll be gone for 5 days.
Good work, buddy.
Years put up with me.
You gotta give her a medal.
I agree.
Or a trip to New York.
Okay, any other questions for either manager or assistant administrative assistant?
Keep up the good work.
Okay, I'm going to move on to item 7, standing committee reports, accounts payable committee.
Well, we met, we checked everything and can you send us, what was in the black file, the.
Yeah, we, there was, FirstNet went up a lot, but that's now because we've got SCADA hooked to the FirstNet. It had to have its own individual modem and line.
And it's also gonna go up because we're getting rid of the AT&T landline and going with the AT&T cellular, which is up and running right now. So we got rid of Zito. We're going to get rid of the landline, the new AT&T cellular. Bill, when he hooked it up, said we were getting 100 uploaded and 100 downloads, which is about 15 times what we've been getting. So hopefully
And,
the price kind of washes itself out because we're getting rid of two other bills. All right, so
and that's part of FirstNet, part of our responder.
definitely the nitrate,
Network.
or definitely the SCADA is FirstNet. And I told them the cellular part was FirstNet, but they do it really weird. They send it to me, then I have to go down and set up, auto pay. You have to go to the store. It's crazy how they do it, but yeah, so, and that the internet is supposed to be, they said $55 a month, and they think that in 2 to 3 months, it could drop down to $35 a month. That's what the lady heard, but so our regular office internet will be $55 a month, which is less by a lot than what we were paying for Zito and AT&T.
Yeah, so also, just to let, as you know, the JPIA was significantly,
Higher.
no, it was less.
Because we,
Because we got like an $8,000 credit for Tanya's, the ones that we had paid for before, and they gave us a credit. So,
yeah, I was trying to figure that out. Okay.
yeah,
Well, we can talk about some of that in financials.
yeah, but I just wanted to mention. And, yeah, that's it.
Okay, any questions for the accounts payable committee? And, I know that, I will be covering the standing committee for Director Nyman, when he goes away.
Yes.
No, or the
Yeah.
accounts payable,
Yes,
yeah,
the standing.
yeah.
Okay, so, state update meeting.
That's next week. And Terry's covering for you.
Terry's gonna cover for me, yeah. Okay, and, quarterly financial committee, we're supposed to meet
Next Tuesday,
next Tuesday.
yeah.
And hopefully we can kick it out, in one meeting, because I have to take someone to the hospital on the second financial, or someone will have to cover me.
Okay.
Can I ask you a dumb quick question? When I put out the agenda for the quarterly financial, what quarter are you reviewing? Are we going by fiscal year or calendar year?
We'd have to ask Deborah.
Deborah?
Calendar year. We're doing calendar year.
You're gonna review the fourth quarter?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're doing
thank
the
you.
fourth quarter of last year. Yes.
So it
Okay.
should be October, November, December.
Which will be considered the fourth quarter, the second, okay.
Correct.
Just the second quarter of.
Yes.
Okay,
Won't stop.
any questions for any of the standing committees before I move on? Okay, item 8, ad hoc committee reports. The, project committee, we're supposed to meet on this Friday.
Is it?
I mean, not this Friday, the following Friday. Dee, did you confirm, a meeting time?
He was wanting.
I sent out, no. Jeff called.
Next Friday, right? I can't do tomorrow. I already have something.
Okay, have you been following the emails that I sent out, Lisa?
I have been. I sent a bunch of email replies to you, but did you send something else?
Yeah, he said a late one.
It's just basically, it's not gonna, it's like, what day was it, Monday or Tuesday of the
Look.
following week?
It looks like Monday, wait a minute, let me verify that.
I can't, you can't,
It wasn't us or D.
wait, you have 9 AM, Jeff is good, he's checking with Emily, and then I have, are we talking about the 12th or the 19th? Then I have the 19th. Oh, now Jeff has a problem with Friday.
Yeah, and I wrote that down.
Monday.
It's either Monday the 22nd or Tuesday the 23rd, and I'll verify that with Jeff.
Hey, well, hold on, because I have a lot of stuff that week. And
Yeah,
I keep moving, so I moved an appointment now,
I
not
know.
necessarily, so I lost that appointment.
Sorry for that.
I cannot do Monday. Tuesday, we already have a meeting, AP meeting.
Right.
So, I mean,
Unless you
and.
wanna,
and-
unless you wanna have Terry fill in and do the meeting with you and.
Project? Is that, yeah, just jump in.
Like, I can't, cause I'm having a procedure done.
I would have to cancel 3 appointments for Monday, so I'm not probably willing to do that.
Okay, that would be the 22nd, right, Lisa?
Yes, I cannot do the 22nd. And the 23rd is a problem because it would just be me because Director Nyman will not be here. He has a procedure happening the next day.
Okay,
No, he has a procedure.
all right, I'll convey that to
And
Jeff.
that's the only 2 days? Hold on a second, I'm looking at your email.
I've got to be in Santa Barbara at Sansom the 24th, that's Wednesday. 25th,
So you get 2 weeks?
I'm
Yeah,
not sure that,
Hey,
that Jeff and
Bob.
you're available then.
I couldn't understand what you're
who
saying.
said the 25th? I won't be here. I'll be in Mexico.
How about we meet Sunday?
Well, Brahma won't be here either.
Just kidding. Just trying to find a day where we might be able to get together. Not the 23rd, not the 22nd, the 25th is out, I guess, right?
Nyman's gonna be
Or-
gone until
I'm not coming back until the 30th.
the 30th. So I guess you can do it with just me, but I kinda hate to just be the. I mean, what are we going over? Were we hashing
Map?
We're gonna talk
what
about,
we're doing? Because,
the price and the map. Yeah. So both those, try to come up with an agreement as to what that
Can we
price.
make a temporary amendment to allow Terry to show up and be there on Tuesday?
I don't see why we should say it. But you can't agree on a. You
Oh,
have to
well-
come up with a price to bring to the full board. You
Right,
can't
well,
make the
of course,
agreement now.
yeah, we're not gonna make
So
a,
that's what Dee said.
oh, yeah, well, yeah, we won't make an agreement.
Right. We just want to find
We'll,
out.
we'll get information and then bring it to the board.
Right, exactly. So, yeah,
that
go ahead.
an issue with the closed session, since she would then actually become a negotiator for a minute,
Yep.
or with the attorney, or, I mean, I'm just wondering if that's gonna bring up additional issues.
I'll check with Alan,
Because it could become like a serial.
as long as we don't make, any agreements with anybody. And it's just an informational thing and we find out where they are. And, if, are we close? Are we not close? What kind of ballpark are we talking about?
Here too.
Yeah, I mean, so if we're able to do that, we could do it right before our AP meeting or right after. It's just I have something else at 3, but I'm available. Hopefully we would get through the AP meeting in less than 3 hours.
I was gonna say, it took us 3 hours and 15 minutes this last time.
Right, but it's the second one, so it's
Right.
usually shorter.
So what day,
So
what
that
day
would be the 23rd in the morning
in the morning on the 23rd?
or early afternoon.
23rd in the
It's
morning,
just we-
9?
It's just Terry and I have to be we have a standing committee meeting that starts at 11. That's gonna go at least probably 2 hours. So I would say maybe either
It'd have to be early morning.
it would either be like at 9 or 10, if we could get it out in an hour, but I
Ooh.
would say 9.
Yeah, I think 9 is a better time to shoot for. It always takes more time than you anticipate.
Okay, I mean, that's fine as long as we're, I mean, are you
Okay,
with-
I make a motion that we,
Okay, can we
Make a
do that?
Committee report? No, you can make it under the agenda item where you talk about,
okay, when we get there,
Okay, closed session stuff.
not under the,
not on a
not
closed
under,
session,
under
the other.
the, you know,
but on
acquisition.
the acquisition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
acquisition of well nine, that would be
Yeah,
the.
I'll do it there. Okay,
Are we able to do that without having it on here? Like we had to reform, it's
No.
only for reforming a standing committee, not for an ad hoc?
Well, it's,
but it's substantively for that,
For just that, well, yeah, I guess we can.
Yeah,
That sounds- Okay, so, so let's keep that in mind for, and we'll move to that in a minute. So that's the project committee, financial committee. There isn't any ad hoc stuff planned, just a standing committee
That's,
at
yeah,
the moment. We're still waiting to hear from the auditors, about anything else. And the generator pad construction.
and it's supposed to be done this month, by the end of the month?
That's a theory. I
yeah, it was
believe
a
so.
theory, we got our, I don't know if Deborah's heard anything. I haven't.
shooting for the middle of February.
So
For the
February.
final,
Yeah, he's
Okay.
coming, on the 18th to do more field work.
oh,
So he's
okay,
got more stuff he's gotta work on.
okay.
City,
Excuse me,
I don't think like, he said, few minor things or something.
Yeah. Just follow up question.
And the generator pad committee, we haven't, got anything further, schedule or anything as far as the pads go?
So it's just a sling and whenever that.
Well, railroad ties, we're gonna set them on railroad ties,
Right.
all that stuff, but yeah.
Gravel pads, so.
They said not even necessarily gravel pads, Greg said the railroad ties are, keep it up, the main thing is just wanting to keep it off the ground so they don't rust. So, well, I don't have a beam cutter, but we'll make it happen.
Absolutely.
Okay, any questions for any of the ad hocs? Okay, moving on.
excuse me, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
There is, an email from Scott with a question that I think probably Terry and Lisa need to look at about the meter well.
The date of that
Is it-
email? I
I
didn't
have to
see
look
it.
up. I don't know if it was actually directed to you, but it's about the meter well. There's some items that were capitalized that he thinks they should be moved to expense. I
So
think,
can we do an ad hoc meeting? Terry?
can we discuss that next Tuesday? That would be the 16th, and he's not coming to the 18th?
right,
We're already doing the quarterly financial
Why this-
standing committee.
Right, on that day, we'd already be here, we could look at the email and then figure it out.
Yeah, we just need to try to get through the quarter, but I think we probably can.
Yeah.
Uh,
That other shouldn't take, but.
it needs to happen before then, so what, at like 10:30?
10:30 is fine.
Okay. Are you good with that, Terry?
Yeah.
Well, she's gonna be here since 9 o'clock, so she's good with that.
Who's gonna be here since 9?
No, that's on the 23rd, this is the 16th.
Oh, yeah, that's the 16th, that's what you're talking about with the same one for the,
No, we're talking about the 23rd.
The 23rd is with D and the other
You're
people.
confusing us.
Oh,
The
okay.
16th.
oh, okay. I thought you were doing it the same day.
No,
That's the next AP is on the 23rd. The quarterly financials on the 16th.
Right, but when are you doing Emily Rainway?
on
On the
the
23rd.
23rd.
Don't confuse us. You
So-
got me confused.
Financial ad hoc, 10:30 AM on the 16th. We probably won't get paid for it because we'll probably run long, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I have that down. We're good. Okay, so Deborah, we'll figure that out at 10:30 on the 16th.
Okay,
Okay. So, anything else before I move on to financial business? Okay, item number 9, Deborah, you're on. Accounts payable financial.
Happy New Year,
extension.
everybody.
Happy New Year too.
Crazy what it
Okay.
turns out to be.
So we cut 2 checks for a total of $909.55 out of the meter well account.
And, can I ask a question on that, Deborah? On
Yes.
those, it didn't say the claim number. You had the claim like number on some of the other checks we cut, but those 2 checks in particular, I didn't see it. It came from the meter well, but it doesn't equate to a claim number. So is that stuff we're prepaying or is that a claim number that we're post paying?
Well, that was the question that ran through my head when I was looking at the memo. I may have just forgotten to put it there, but I don't have the documentation in front of me to really give you a definitive answer. So I'll have to look at it unless Tiffany has any insight on that. It was kind of a rush for me. So can I
Yeah, that's why I
answer
just
that
wanna make
question
sure that
later?
we're not.
I-
Yeah, I just wanna make sure we have it in our brain, so we're not paying something and then paying it again, or, I'm just
No, I
concerned that we
don't.
make sure that
No,
we
I don't
track
think
it.
that was the situation. I think that I just failed to put the claim number.
Okay,
Steve Jackson
Let me look
Associates.
it up and get back to you.
okay.
Looking right.
Okay, all right.
Says that it
So
comes
then
meter well.
you're cutting out.
know?
I can't.
It might be, I mean, off the top of my head, maybe 19. I wanna say 19, but. You want me to get, okay, I'll go pull it out. It's
Yeah, I'm
gonna
just
take a minute.
concerned that we're like prepaying it and we haven't gotten it in yet,
Okay.
or we're,
I'll look it up.
because we always have little things with those. Yeah, it says nowhere on here anything about a claim on either one of them.
Oh, you know.
Claim 20, and we already got paid for that?
Yeah,
We wouldn't have put it in if we didn't have a check.
Okay, so I'm writing claim number 20 on these, and then you might just need
I'll-
to add that, Deborah. You get a
Okay.
chance.
Number 20. Okay, noted. All
Thank
right,
you.
and then we cut 5 checks from the planning account for a total of $21,074.01. And the extraordinary disbursement, there was a check for $12,000, $12,152 to D for claim 35. And then $3,521.01 for claim 35 to D.
And then I have a question on that one as well, because the eminent domain payment, which says it's coming out of FPPUD Lake of the Woods planning, but again, I didn't see that there's a claim number associated with it. That's
Well-
the 2,417.
I think these were the 2004-1750. I think they were all claim 35. I just didn't put the claim number in.
See if that
Young
has
and Wellbridge.
35 on it.
35, claim 35.
Yeah, because all the rest say 35 except for that one.
I'll verify it, but I'm pretty sure that that's what it was.
It says claim 35 on it.
Okay. It says it on the, it just doesn't say it on your sheet, but it says it on the check.
Okay,
mean,
so
on the invoice.
I've noted to add it,
Okay, thank you.
okay? And
Yes.
then out of the operating account, we had one void. And we cut 36 checks for a total of $38,924.87. The extraordinary disbursements, there was a JPIA, our employee benefit, for $3,143.70. The Visa card was $5,167.42.
And
State,
that one, Deb, the
Yeah.
unbundled Visa card are gonna be submitted to our insurance. So just put a note for the back of your mind, that's something that Johnny, we've paid them already, but that's something that Johnny's gonna try to submit to our insurance. The two that
So-
are, the
two
two ones
AAA
for
flooding?
1,000. Yes.
16.
so you want me to pull those invoices from the credit card packet?
No, we're paying them, but we're just gonna try to submit them, so at some point we may get a reimbursement for those.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. This Edison bill was $7,582.13. And the SWRCB annual fees, water system fee, $4,369.12. Those are the extraordinary disbursements. That's it.
And then, I just had another question. We put, the, Lebec Auto Repair on Tiffany's card, was that specific? Is there a
That's because I
reason?
needed her to go down and pay her.
Ah, got it, okay, that's fine.
And they're supposed to send us an invoice.
Yeah, he doesn't like to do receipts, but we should.
He always does receipts, but I usually get them when I pay.
Oh,
But I paid over the phone, so he said
Oh, yeah,
I'll
pay
give
over
it
the
to
phone.
Johnny when I see him.
okay,
Yeah.
perfect,
And
yeah,
I have to take 2 vehicles down there, so I'll get it done.
okay. Anyone else have any questions on any of our financials? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to move on, so,
I will make a motion that we pay our bills.
yes.
Can we do that first, please?
Yes, we can, sorry. Okay, we have a motion and a second, any questions? Okay, roll call directors, sorry about that, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that's 5-0-0. That motion passes. Okay, so now, D, we're going to briefly, unless you think not, but I think directors had a couple questions. We'd like to do go into the closed session very briefly. Are you okay with that?
Yes, I'll,
Okay, so I'm
Join you.
gonna make the oral announcement right now prior to the closed session, government code 54957.7A, a representative.
Excuse me, are
Yeah.
you done
Oh,
with
good
me?
night, Deborah.
Oh, yes, we're done. Thank you, Deborah.
Good night,
Sorry, I'm very
Deborah.
tired tonight, Nikki. Having trouble
Yeah, we're gonna
concentrating.
let Deborah go.
Yes, we're good. Thank
Okay,
you so much.
everybody have a good
Night.
evening.
You too.
Okay, let me try that again. Anything else before I go into the closed session stuff? Okay. Oral announcement prior to closed session, government code 54957.7A, a representative of the legislative body to orally announce the items to be discussed in closed session prior to any closed session meeting. Okay, item number 10, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957. Conference of real property negotiators, Government Code 54956.8. Property in question 255-320-28. Agency negotiators Lisa Schoenberg, Brahma Nyman, and D. Jasper. Negotiating parties Veronica Alcaraz and Carlos Sacedo. Under negotiation price in terms of payment. And item 11, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with real property negotiators, Government Code 54956.8, properties in question 256-070-54 and 256-070-55. Agency negotiators, Lisa Schoenberg, Brahma Nyman, and D. Jasper. Negotiating parties, Jeff French and Emily Wainwright. Under negotiation, price and terms of payment. We're gonna go into the closed session. It shouldn't take us very long for all the folks that are on the meeting. We are going into this closed session at 6:45
We're choosing.
PM, and I believe one of our directors is recusing himself, Director Garcia. We will get you briefly, Director Garcia. Thank you. And so we are going to, at this point, go into our closed session.
And we just have to wait for Becky to.
Director Wilson.
60-second thing.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're just waiting for Director Gibson to come back. It's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, we came back on audio.
No.
No. Gibson? Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're returning from closed session. The time is 6:55 PM. There was no action taken during the closed session. So we are going to move on to item number 12. Discussion vote update on Fraser Park Lake of the Wood Consolidation Planning Project. 12A, discussion vote review of the project timeline and extension. I don't believe anything else was done on that right now, was there?
That's correct.
Okay, so we'll just move on from that. Discussion 12B, the budget adjustment.
I believe,
So there was some, information that you put in, Dee, on the, it wasn't a budget adjustment, it was new information on the budget itself, sent to Lawrence Sanchez, and I think there's some questions on that. Is that, let me just make sure that we're covering that in the right spot. Yeah, because I don't think we can cover it anywhere else. So yeah, so that, is the, a revised budget for professional engineering services and system design for this project. Do you want to talk about that a little bit first, Dee? And then I know that Lawrence had written some questions on an email, and I have some questions. And I don't know if anyone else does. It's here in our packet. It says Board of Directors, dated January 9th, 2024, budget for professional engineering system, services system design.
Oh, okay. I saw that.
Can you read it?
I can't do it.
Oh, you can't read the back page, but he's got all those numbers on the front 2 pages with the total.
So Dee, you want to talk about that total? I'm very confused. I'm not really sure if this is an additional $1 million or you've incorporated things that we've already done in this budget.
some, there is a little bit of repeat, but not a lot when Curtis and I took this thing apart, just a couple days ago, about a week ago, actually. And, all these components are things that, definitely have, increased in cost for sure. And some of these we didn't cover in the initial go at it, back in 2015. So, because of that, and because Lawrence wanted to know, this is a $30 million project now, by the way. We just updated the project cost estimate, and the costs, of course, have gone up a lot. But all these different components, we put a pen and a paper to them, and we talked to our consultants about what these costs would be. The geotechnical went up, the environmental went up a bit, and our costs have gone up. And when you look at each of the components, they're an estimate. They're not. This isn't it's a budget that we need to put together for Lawrence so that he can look at what is included in this, and the cost of those components. So I did a rather detailed review, and those numbers appear on that spreadsheet that you got, which, is so small, it's kind of hard to read.
Extremely hard to read.
Yeah, and I can send a bigger copy, but anyway, that's.
I think the first issue, D, would be what is currently existing what has already been paid for and what is new, because without that being broken into some sort of colored or something coded, something, it is very difficult to know what's what. And I think, because you're basically saying, what was this originally? How much was this portion originally? I don't have it in front of me.
I don't either, and it was quite a bit lower, quite a bit lower, and we haven't sat down and gone through that, but I can say that most of it, we have reflected some lower costs for the well designs and some things like that, which recognizes that we've already done some work on well 8 and well 9. But the details that we have to put together now, plans and profiles, we have to do a geotechnical investigation of the entire alignment and the pumping plants. We have to prepare, the plans for the pumping plant storage tanks, plans and profiles, we'll do a revised engineer's estimate. And then, of course, the environmental documents, that's about 100,000. And that's a number that Tom gave us early in the year. So that's what's included there, plus some meetings as well.
Dean, I think what Director Schoenberg is saying is this is not an additional $1 million on top of our planning, right? That is correct. And I think that's what Lawrence is going to want to know is for each category, how much did you go up? Because we had, whatever the budget was, if the budget was for, let's say, transmission lines, if the budget was, 230,000 and you went up $30,000, you need more money. I mean, I think that's where he's going to be asking the question that next, when we go for the state update meeting, he's going to be asking these questions of us of like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. And I haven't.
So we have to know each category, engineering, plans and specs, whatever, how much did you go up on what's left over? And I think that's what we have to submit to him, because then he has to go to his management to try to get more money.
And I'm concerned because there is no contingency, because we already used all the contingency now, so, and we can't add contingency, I guess, because they said that that's not part of the, I don't know, that was taken out. So I'm just concerned that we are very, very clear on what we've already put in, what was already done, because as far as I understand, it's just the design that we were asking Lawrence that we needed more money on, and not everything.
Well, and we also had the consolidated engineering. I think that we needed more money. Isn't that correct, Carlos?
Yeah, but that was gonna get taken out of from the design. I got a comment. D, did you only send them the first table, or did you send them 2 tables?
I just sent them the regional project design table, Carlos.
So it's just 1 table that you sent, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah. So in that email,
I also did send in a separate email the CM for the Summit Pipeline Replacement Project.
yeah, yeah, because I see in the email that he put another table under that's overall budget. And I think that was done by Lawrence. If D only sent 1 table, then Lawrence added a table to the email. And he's basically increasing the engineering design from 166 to 1,031,200. So that's adding like an extra 700 and something thousand to the budget that we already have right now.
I don't think that's correct.
That's that's close. That's close.
Inflation.
What we
Well, cause he put, you know, our project management administration and legal was started off at 35,800. The revised total that we have now is 189,249. Test wells went down from 527 to 362,748. Engineering report went up from 36,605 to 96,729. And then environmental docs went from 56,216 to 100,000. And then we have engineering design and selected construction project 266,166. So then he has it going up by 1,031,200. So for the total project at 1,779,946. That's where he has it at in the table he sent. But he also says that construction management and bidding should be excluded from this budget, as we would only be amending the planning agreement. Any such construction phase costs would be part of the future construction application and not this exercise. So he
There's
says,
no-
please review the tables below and confirm my understanding and revise accordingly. So he sent the table back and he wants you guys to look at it and revise it accordingly.
when did he send that back? I don't,
He sent it on Wednesday at 4:47 p.m.
okay, yeah. I did get that.
Are we copied on that? I didn't see it.
No, I think.
He
I don't
sent
think
it
we will.
to D, myself, and then Johnny and Tiffany.
Donnie and Tiffany don't get to vote.
Well, you ain't supposed to vote on it. We're supposed to find an amendment.
No, the request,
Did someone forward that to us?
well, that,
Yeah, I can forward it to somebody. Who do you want me to forward it to?
Director Nyman and Director Schoenberg.
when I sent things to Tiffany, I'm assuming, and maybe I should be more clear about that Tiffany, you'd send it on to the board members. So.
I printed for the board packets. That's why it's in the board packet.
But not.
Right.
Not every email. Redirect every single email that comes through.
Yeah, we did that. You guys would be hammered continually. If you did print it, and we didn't get it till late yesterday, right? So how much could you have?
Yeah, it just came.
But
And Tiffany's been busy all the time.
Okay, I
didn't get
just
that.
sent it. I just sent it to Brahma and Lisa.
You guys gotta cut a little slack. Tiffany is training the front desk and doing
No,
everything. It's hard, even for me, I don't know when I get stuff, unless it's specifically, I know you guys are gonna want it, like when I send you guys in a text and say you guys got something to read. Unless it's something like that, there's a lot of things I don't know that I should pass on to what ad hoc when we get it, so.
Yeah, we can't assume that Tiffany, like, if it's something that the project, either ad hoc or the state update people need to be looking at, that should be copied already to us without assuming that Tiffany's gonna know what needs to be given to the whole board, what needs to be given to part of the, it's just a lot of extra work for Tiffany. So if you know that it's something that we need to review and look at before a state update meeting or, something like that, then it would be good to copy us as well. I mean, Tiffany tries to print everything out as much as she can, and she did print out everything but that last item that Lawrence sent. But yeah, it's a lot to have her try to slog through all that, make sure she gives us everything.
Yeah, so it also says, can you confirm that the 1,031,200 updated budget is meant to be the update of the 266,156 total requested in 2015, increase of 765,34, and none of these costs are duplicated or covered elsewhere in the existing budget?
No, I can't make that declaration right now, Carlos. I've not had time.
No, what I'm saying is that's what Lawrence says, so that he wants you to look at it and see if that breakdown is correct.
Yeah, well, certainly I'm going to, but I haven't done that. I got the budget prepared, went through it wrote out everything and got it off, a few days ago. And so I haven't had time to, faculty yesterday, I think, is when I sent it out. So yeah, you haven't had time and I haven't had time to go back through it. So I'm thinking maybe a special meeting or something like that, or I'll come up to the district and we'll go through it. And before we meet with Lawrence and
We're gonna need to meet with the ad hoc to go through it carefully, and then we'll be good.
Right, but you're saying before the state update meeting?
That's next Thursday.
It's this,
Well,
yeah, it's this
I don't-
coming Thursday.
I don't think anybody's gonna have time to do that. It would be nice if we could. We'll have to,
So I guess the question is, because he hasn't approved that other budget letter,
We can't.
then we're holding out those invoices still.
well, that's that we understand that, but that's just the way it goes. It is just fresh on out to you guys, and so that you can review it, and then we can have a meeting and kind of go over that, and then we can maybe even have another meeting with Lawrence with the ad hoc committee, set that up specially.
We
But
want to try to set a date for Director Nyman to be back. It's gonna have to be after the 31st.
mhm,
It would have to be the beginning of February.
that, if that's,
How about Thursday, February 1st?
if it's during the day, yes. Otherwise, I have an evening meeting that evening, but that's late. I have to leave here about 4. But if we could do it during the day, that'd be great.
I think it would just be the ad hoc first to look at it,
What
so
time?
whenever,
Like 10 o'clock?
yeah,
I have a morning.
10 a.m. is fine if we can get.
Okay.
Be the project ad hoc, taking a look at the budget, and then if things looked okay, we could, yes, Tiffany.
When you have 2 quarterly financial meetings, the second one would be February 1st, unless you're sure you won't do that.
I thought, oh, it's not on the, I
Is
have
it?
it
Let's
written
see.
on the wrong.
No, the
date.
quarterly financials on the 16th, right? So
Yeah,
it would be on the 30th.
Right,
of
which
January.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's fine.
Okay, can you do 10 a.m.?
Yes. Let me, wait a minute, double check. I'm that far out, I'm sure I'm okay, but let me just double check. Calendar. Yes, I'm
And
good.
that gives us it gives us 2 weeks before the state update happens again, so we can
Yeah.
have it kind of figured out.
And I'll have some input on Thursday's meeting as well. Just I will have had time to kind of go through it. And,
So
maybe-
we could discuss it a little bit with
Lauren,
Lawrence at that meeting. And then, tell them we'll have more definitive answers at the following state update meeting.
Yeah,
And Carlos, the bills that we're holding back, are they things just for D, or are they stuff that has to be prepaid?
I'll have to look at the invoices again, but I think it's mostly all D. There might be on this last invoice, there might be a small amount for somebody else. I'd have to look.
Okay, so is everyone okay with that? Okay, so we're gonna move on, unless there's any other questions on this budget adjustment. Okay, 12C, discussion vote update on the standby fee assessment and funding. That's Carlos.
Yesterday, I got the work plan back that was reviewed by our admin team. I answered all the questions they had, and they haven't communicated back with me, so I'm assuming that we're probably good to go, and it should be submitted to the state for review, unless they come back at me tomorrow or Monday saying, hey, we need something else. But they haven't, I haven't got an email all day today about that, so I'm assuming that we're good to go, and it'll be submitted to the state for review or for approval, review and approval.
Great, thank you, Carlos. Are there any questions on that?
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, moving on, 12D, discussion vote on the project technical memo. Is there anything additional on that, D, that we need to know?
Nothing additional right now.
And we answered whatever Lawrence needed on that, so we're not owing Lawrence any more explanations on that, or we are, I can't remember.
I don't think so, Lisa, I think. Yeah,
Okay, any other questions on that? Okay, item 12E, discussion vote on acquisition development of well number 8 property. We discussed a little bit of that in closed session, so I don't think we have anything else on 8 to discuss. Okay, but we do have on, so I'm gonna move on to 12F. We do on the acquisition of well 9, we need to adjust the ad hoc committee to talk to the property owners because Director Knight will not be here.
I make a motion that we allow Terry Kelly to fill in for Brahma Nyman on the 23rd of January for the discussions with Emily and Jeff French and Emily Wainwright.
Okay, is there a second to that? And that was discussed so that there isn't a serial meeting or anything that is discussed would need to not be relayed back to Director Nyman. So Nyman has to wait until the next meeting to learn anything.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any questions before I do a roll call of directors? Okay, Director Garcia. Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
I abstain.
Gibson.
Aye.
And Director Schoenberg, I will abstain because I'm the other person on the ad hoc. So that's 3-0, 2 abstentions, no one absent. Thank you. Okay, item number 12, and so there anything else in discussion on that? Well, number 9 will happen after that meeting. 12G, discussion vote on sphere of influence, that's tabled still. 12H, discussion vote on MSR. So we did get, I haven't looked at it, I think Director Nyman has, we did get a copy of the amended MSR after Lake of the Woods
So
looked at it.
do you have your updated copy, D?
no. What am I supposed to? You? I need the notes. I need your notes. So that I can.
Right, and
update
so,
my copy.
right, so I wanna go through this quickly.
I need them written down so I can.
You know what we're doing?
What's that?
I need them written down. I need your comments so that I can,
Well, it's not about comments it's more about corrections.
well, even
Because
that,
some of the stuff
send me
you
a.
guys didn't correct, you still left Ernest on there
Send me a,
and.
just
Send
send me
him
a
a
copy
copy.
that's marked up.
I like what's needed and I'll scan it and send it.
Well,
Well, it'd be good
Wanna
for
highlight it?
us to know, is it just corrections or is it, is it things that the board needs to know before it goes back to him?
we need to update all the positions too for the board.
Okay, so I'll move forward on that right now. If there's nothing that you specifically think, Director Nyman, that the board needs to hear before you send it back to them again. Because we're gonna look at this one more time once those are updated, correct? So this has all the Lake of the Woods information though, correct, Joan and Pam? You
Sure,
saw
guys.
all your,
I have not finalized reading it, guys. I'm swamped with claims on my own. I'm about halfway through your MSR. I'm
is
sorry,
this
guys.
not- Updated then, Director Nyman.
Well, yeah, but he gave it to both, for us to review our part, and she was gonna review her stuff. I mean, whatever she changes is what she changes, and we can review that, but she's giving her, to make sure that his information is correct.
But if everybody just sends their corrections to him, you guys might have some of the same corrections. And he could look at it on paper, it makes it easier to make your changes.
Right, but Dee, had you updated everything when you sent it out to Lake of the Woods? And
No,
sent it to us?
no, it went
Oh, so
out,
he-
it went out to
Well,
you. The-
he did update, he did update the changes that you and we first talked about. Our
Oh, yeah.
changes, he did most of them, but some of them he didn't do.
Okay, so
Fine.
Director Nyman,
The file I have
Yeah.
is from 11/30. It says clean final 11/30/2023. So anything past then, I don't have, and I have it downloaded
That's what this
on
one
the
is,
22nd.
11:30.
Okay, and I got it on the 22nd, guys. I'm sorry. I can only do so much.
We understand.
okay, so what I'm gonna suggest, Dee, is that Director Nyman is gonna send what he has that he sees that still needs to be changed. You can make those changes and any changes that Lake of the Woods is going to give you. And then we'll look at it again and make sure that we're all on the same page.
Yeah, that sounds good. So
He'll have to figure.
I'll get those from Director Nyman or Tiffany. You'll forward them to me. And then Pam,
Tiffany,
Pam, when you get them done on your end, then I'll incorporate yours as well. I just need a written document so I can, taking stuff like that verbally I miss things. And so I need to make sure that they're written so I won't miss anything.
So you're fine with my chicken scratch, is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Couldn't be any worse than mine.
okay, so you'll take a look at both of those, and then I had not looked at I haven't printed it out, so I need to print that out and look at it as well, but, for now, you can use whatever Director Nyman has and whatever
Tiffany, you'll put
whatever
that in my box after you
Pam
send it
sends
to me,
you.
please.
Okay, so do we have any other questions about that before I move on? Okay, 12I, we still have tabled, that's the memorandum of understanding, so we're not gonna discuss that additionally right now. 12J, discussion vote on Lake of the Woods projects and consolidation. This is for Pam or Joan or both to let us know where you're at.
Okay, I'm insane right now with claims. It's just been very daunting. We're right in the heart of it. We're still moving along with the project. Holidays, weather have been, delaying a few things. Nothing new on the generator. Nothing new on the $5 million project. We do have a meeting set up for our engineers, Eric and Joan, to work through some of the mapping of what we've discovered with the phase 2. Well number 4 is still being pumped to waste. Blending station, we did put in a VFD on our well number 1 so we can control it a little bit more during those high nitrate years. And our nitrates are between 4.3 and 4.5 for December. And then all of our well levels have been dropping 1.5 to, I'm saying 9 feet for well number 4 only because November didn't get a reading. So that was from October to December. So, but now we're getting into our wet months. So we should be getting, I would say probably March, we might be seeing a rise again. I'm hoping. But then comes all the other problems. All right, that's it, guys.
Thank you, Pam. Okay, and item 12K, we don't really have the claims and payouts yet because that happens at the state update meeting. So is there anything you need to bring to us, Carlos? Or we will move on? What is
No, I got
I
nothing.
think that's a. Okay, great. Thank you, Carlos.
But what about this invoice? Because that invoice has to do with eminent domain preparation.
Oh,
So that's
yeah. I have a question on that. The any of the eminent domain stuff, my understanding, and we need to, I'm not gonna be at the state update, but I think we really need to reiterate this because Lawrence had said, and I think we need to try to hold them to that, that anything eminent domain up until the point where we actually physically go to court would be paid for as part of the project. But once we're in court on eminent domain, once we have to do that, it has to come out of pocket. So I would like to make sure that we.
Do you have this invoice, Carlos, for $1,888?
Is that, who's that from?
That's from D Jasper.
Is that-
It's invoice number
Hang on.
23-01212.
Let me check, cause I think Tiffany sent me a copy of one that she has to split. I don't know if it's that one.
Opinion, Carlos, it needs to be broken into multiple invoices, and this is for D as well. D, it's very difficult when you stick multiple things on one invoice. So this has the grant application assistance, which is completely separate, and it shouldn't just say general. This is for the tanks. So this is the grant that we worked on to try to do something with the tanks, even though it's not, because of the way we break everything down with our bookkeeper, it really helps to not just say general. And then the CAD operator grant map is for that as well.
What
And
invoice is that?
That's invoice 23-01212.
Oh, it's the newest one, right?
Yeah, then it has a principal engineer for well 8 domain preparation. That should be a claim. And then it has one board meeting that should be a claim and another board meeting that we pay out of pocket because the first board meeting we always pay out of pocket. So it's really should be 3 different invoices in my personal opinion. Or we have to break it up into different invoices, which we've been doing, but that's always really difficult on us and a little difficult when we're trying to assess all of our payments and everything when we go through for the audit. It's more difficult on the bookkeeper and on any of the committees that are dealing with that.
Lisa.
So you want 3 invoices?
We've been breaking them up in-house quite a bit, but I'm just hoping that you can, maybe we can break this one up if we need to, but that you can direct your people. I don't know who's doing this now, Dee, but that you can direct things to be written, not just all lumped together so that we have to figure it out each time.
Yes, no,
So you
no
want them
problem.
broken into 3?
I don't know exactly what categories. Here, I was under the misunderstanding that anything that we did in preparation for the eminent domain proceedings was general or paid for by the district directly. So that's
No, that's not what Lawrence said to us. Lawrence said the cutoff is when we go to court, then everything in court has to be paid by us. But all that general, like talking to the, property owners and talking to the attorney pre-eminent domain, because eminent domain does not exist yet. It's not until we haven't even.
It does. We are in eminent domain. We've been in eminent domain for quite a while now, but we haven't been
No,
in
because
court,
it's
that's
not
for sure.
filed yet.
Because we haven't filed it in court, Dee. There's
Well,
a
let's-
delineate.
Let's we'll talk to Lawrence about that, but yes, I can put that on planning quite easily and then break those things down. Sometimes, like for the tanks, for the grant application, sometimes I don't know that, that needs to be invoiced separately or not. And I just call it
Yeah,
general.
yeah, I know, but just so you know, each thing has its own cash. So like when we did Wolf Tank, even though that came all out of pocket, it was called Wolf Tank Project.
Mhm.
So it's much easier if we kind of give it some sort of thing besides general. I mean, general is definitely the board meeting. So the first board meeting is general. That we've been paying out of pocket since this has been happening. But the second board meeting is definitely an invoiced claim to the state. And then, so yeah, anything before we're in court is, to my personal knowledge, we went over and over this with Lawrence, and I kind of want to hold him to it, is that all the pre-stuff was not being paid out of pocket, but it will be paid out of pocket as soon as we're in the proceedings. And then the other stuff is definitely in relationship to repairing a tank.
Say that one more time, Lisa. One more time about the so I can get it really clear, because I've been considering, there's some invoices that were, having to do with eminent domain that I've been calling general. I'd have to go back and take a look at those, to pull those out and call them planning. And I can do that, but I just want to be clear about that.
I think we may have changed those already. I thought we were looking at them unless we didn't catch some stuff, but we've been trying to do everything because like I said, we had talked to Lawrence about this and asked when the cutoff was. And the cutoff is once we're in the actual proceedings, which is as soon as you file.
Not my
In
understanding.
my understanding.
I've misunderstood a lot of things, so that's nothing new. I will get it clarified. I want to make real sure that that is the case. That wasn't my understanding.
Yeah, Dee, I had the same understanding as you, but then I kept asking Lisa, hey, can we cover this? So then Lisa asked Lawrence, and he's been accepting the claims. Yeah, he's been accepting the claims so far. So although this last claim, he's like, make sure you guys don't put anything about from eminent domain. So I'm still hoping that it's the way Lisa's saying, that it's not until we file and we're in court that it stops. So
Okay. All right, I stand corrected
And then-
once again.
And then, D, the tank in question, if you could put, that this which tank did we do the
application parcel B.
parcel B? So the grant application assistance, the grant map information is all parcel B. I mean, I guess if you need us to break it out this time, we could, but it'd be easier if, in the future, anything to do with that grant that we still haven't received is gonna be parcel B. Anything to do with the first board meeting is definitely a general invoice, and you can just keep it general. And anything to do with the second board meeting is a claim. And anything to do with eminent domain up until we file is a claim, but since we're imminently filing, then it's gonna move over to not being a claim. That's my understanding with Lawrence, which I asked multiple times.
Okay.
So
I
from
stand
this,
corrected.
so from this invoice, Lisa, there's only two things that are for planning, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
well, eminent domain and
The second board
second
meeting.
board meeting.
Okay.
Do you want to try to break it out yourself, Carlos, as you've been doing, or how do you want to deal with this? Because I know, Carlos has been like highlighting in different colors and everybody. I'm just hoping that we don't have to keep doing that all the time.
Yeah, well, the thing
It
is
just
that
makes it-
that other stuff is not part of any of the projects, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a project, but it has nothing to do with a grant thus far. And it won't, it'll be a grant, but it'll be from a completely different entity, so it won't be straight from the state the way we're doing the other stuff.
Yeah, so if it could keep that separate, that's the main thing, so I don't mix it up with the with the planning stuff.
So how do you want to deal with that, Dee? Do you want to redo this invoice, or do you want to have us try to break it into like those crazy ABC stuff we used to do? Or how do we want to deal with it?
If it's not too much trouble, mark up the invoice. And then will reissue, we'll cancel that one and, or invalidate it, and then we'll come up with 3 invoices, separate invoices. If
I
that,
can do that. I'll send it to Gail.
okay,
Okay, so Tiffany's on that. Thank you, Tiffany, and she'll be sending that on. Okay, thank you. Okay, so moving on. We are, if there's no other questions on item 12, we will move to item 13, discussion vote update on FPPUD meter replacement projects and emergency well supply projects. 13A is discussion vote update on well number 7. Do we have any new information on well number 70?
nothing new, we're still waiting on Lawrence.
We're still waiting on Lawrence.
Okay. Okay, any questions on that? 13B, discussion vote update on meter replacement.
Nothing new on that, still the timing appears to be February, March to get the brass. And then once they're in, then they can have at it.
Okay, and item C, we do not have, Oscar here, and we shouldn't have any claims and payouts yet. That should be next week. So, do we have anything you need to add, Carlos, or? I know that's Oscar's.
Yeah, nothing from me.
Okay, any questions on that? Okay, item D, 13D, discussion vote update on the bridge loan requests and payments. I don't believe we're asking for anything yet. That's gonna be coming.
That's becoming when we
figure out
finally,
7.
when we figure out 7.
Yeah.
And then Lawrence says,
Oh, actually, there's.
No, I have a question. So we're talking about using the bridge loan to pay for the meters, but also for closing out well 7. I would wonder what those 2 would add up to and whether or not there's enough in the bridge loan for that. Because the total cost of the meters plus the event.
right, and I don't think we're gonna be able to pay for the total cost of the, we may have to use the bridge loan for the total cost of the meters, because that's gonna be more than $500,000, isn't it?
Guessing, but so far, since Bruff isn't pushing for payment for the meters, he hasn't even has to go down and count them yet. Maybe the brass will come in around the same time as the invoice for the meters.
Yeah, he's
And the project will start.
still didn't have
Yeah,
all,
I'm just saying between the 2 things, maybe well over 500.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna have to, submit on a claim, and we'll pay what we can pay with the bridge loan. And if they have to wait for the balance, like if the meters are more than $500,000, I'm assuming because we owe $120,000 to Unified.
And let me ask you this, if maybe Curtis can reach out, or Dee, reach out to Bruff, and if he's not gonna submit an invoice for a month or 2, maybe he could submit it early. So we have time to submit it to the state to get reimbursed. And if he'll have less waiting time, maybe we won't need the bridge loan. If he's not concerned about 2 or 3 months, we might be able to get reimbursed for the.
Right, well, I mean, yeah, that's fine. I mean, however,
That's a good point, Tim.
but,
bring it up.
right, but we definitely have to, Dee will have to have somebody go do the inventory on,
Yeah, once we get the, yeah.
in order for them to invoice us, we can't do it without having the
No.
inventory. So. Cause what is the total cost of, do you have any idea what the total cost of the meters are gonna be, Dee?
I can look that up. Just give me a minute or two.
Looking up now?
Yeah, he's looking it up right now.
Good.
No pressure.
Neck and. Done crazy.
Be able to do it, they swear by it.
I'm getting there.
I tried to,
Rough.
disabled and I.
Keep an update.
Katie,
I've
Natalie.
got the info here. The meters themselves, the 5/8 by 3/4, 707,000 roughly, 706,000. The 1 inch, very little, 21,000 compared to those. 2 inch, 2,000. So just the meters themselves, pretty much close to 720, 725.
So Dee, is there any chance you guys could reach out to Bruff and tell them that there's no way we're gonna get a bridge loan for that? And since they haven't submitted an invoice yet, let them know that we need to get an invoice to submit to the state for a claim. So then he has less time to wait. Cause it don't seem like he's all really concerned about invoicing it. And we should get it started, cause it takes 3 to 6 months to get a claim, right?
Yeah.
To get the checks?
Oh,
yeah.
Please.
Yeah, and the bridge loan's not gonna cover it.
No.
And we don't have enough money probably in our reserves to cover
And
it.
if he understands that, he'll get us the invoice, and what's he gonna do? He has a whole warehouse full of meters right now. He's gonna wanna get paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so, move on.
Yep.
All right, item 14, discussion vote on pipeline replacement projects. Discussion vote on potholing and mapping that's completed. A 14B, discussion vote on engineering and design, and we do have a,
Well, that's the following one.
yeah, we have, some information on the engineering, well, both the contract and the, well, actually the contract, so, do we have anything on 14B, T, before we discuss the engineering contract?
No.
Okay, so let's go on to 14C, and, you all have that. I definitely have some, questions, but I think Director Nyman has those same
Yeah,
questions, so.
for 2021, 22, and 23.
Actually, before that, on page 1 of 7, I have some, concerns. So my first concern has to do with the, B. Consultant agrees to perform the following, or wait, no, is it B or C? Let's see. Yes, so, B, client agrees to provide compensation as follows: monthly, in accordance with the current rate schedule, exhibit C. We are not going to be able to do that without putting in claims. So, I have an issue with both B and C. Both C repeats that client agrees to compensate consultant for such services as follows monthly in accordance with the current rate schedule exhibit C.
Yeah, that's kind of standard language, and I don't think I've ever held the district to any of that stuff. But if you object to it, we can put just in accordance with, and just strike the monthly.
Yeah,
Yes, please. Okay, and then I believe, Director Nyman has some similar.
yeah,
things that are-
well, number 20, it says, if the client fails to pay consultant within 30 days, after the invoices are rendered, client agrees consultant shall have the right to consider such default in payment a material breach of this entire agreement.
Dang, I didn't know that was in there.
Yeah, upon written notice.
Which
The
one?
duties, obligations. Number 20.
Yeah, we don't do that, of course, but this is a standard form. And you've never pointed that one out before, Rama.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah, I know. I
You
just mentioned
objected
the
to other
last time.
ones. Very
Slacking.
good.
I was
Yeah.
blacking the last time.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna X that one out, okay?
Yeah, and then in 21 says all fees and other charges will be monthly shall be due at the time of billing unless otherwise specified in the agreement.
How about due upon receipt of the district's receipt of the reimbursement from
The state.
That's fine.
Perfect.
That's
That's
perfect.
perfect.
And then,
Wait, you're going too fast. I gotta write this
okay,
down.
sorry.
Of time strict.
Yeah, 22.
And then, are you ready, Dee?
No. I'm writing as
Okay.
fast as I can.
That's all right.
You have 22 and 23.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, it's hard for you, Steve, if you turn around, you can see, we're ready.
okay, I'm ready.
And then 22 says client agrees that the periodic billings from consultant to client are correct, conclusive, and binding on client unless client within 10 days from the date of receipt of such billing notifies consultant in writing of alleged inaccuracies, discrepancy, or errors in billing.
Wow. This is a pretty good contract for a consultant, huh?
Yeah, so
The,
that's
we can,
that's gotta be nixed.
yeah, we'll revise that one.
And then 23 says, client agrees to pay a monthly late payment charge, which will be the lesser of 1.5% per month, or a monthly charge not to exceed the maximum legal rate, which will be applied to any unpaid balance commencing 30 days after the date of the original billing.
We'll X that one out.
I think that's all I had.
I have other stuff because really all through this, there's a lot of
Oh.
other ones where it's talking about that clients will pay the cost of checking, inspection fees, zoning, annexation, blah, blah, blah. I think it needs to be put in here that, you know, we're subject to the state. I mean, this is all in agreement with the state and what the state approves, so it's not really saying that on a bunch of these.
Ah,
I mean, this is like a nice boilerplate for if we didn't have an agreement with the state, but we do. And everything has to feed through the state.
And then,
You can dance, look at it.
okay,
Right.
review
Got your hammer to look at.
with,
Well, we do that all these contracts all the time.
I mean, every contract I've ever seen has got this legalese in it, but if you guys didn't catch any of this any other time and it's never been,
well, it's still important.
I'm just saying it's never been enforced once.
Right.
Now, like,
No, I'm not, but the one time it gets enforced is the one time we have a problem. And then we'll be held accountable for not reviewing the contract appropriately. That's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. We can.
And then I'm just gonna say that we probably, and that was something Director Nyman was bringing up, I don't know if he still, suggests that was, not in a meeting, but, that perhaps we always should be running this stuff by our attorney, which we're not. I don't think we have in the past.
I don't think we've ever run it by the attorney. For him to look at the.
Probably pretty likely that this was written by Alan.
No. This is written by the California Council of Consulting Engineers and Land Surveyors. And it's been, you know, in circulation for a long time. I haven't read it in detail for many, many years now. It is definitely consultant oriented. But I've never done and don't anticipate ever having to do any of those things. And you guys know from our past experience.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting that at all.
If this is prepared, however, it makes it much easier since we keep doing multiple contracts with you, that maybe next time it becomes really quick and easy.
Yeah, you just have to kind of X all all this stuff out prior to sending it.
Yeah, you know, maybe Alan should shoot that over to him and have him run through it. I think they have an attorney that specializes in contracts, so that.
But the specifics need to be, they need to understand that it really has to do that, this is not just a contract between us and you specifically, but it has to also be always agreed upon and deal with the parameters of a grant from the state. So that's why it's a little bit more, needs more finessing.
So Dee, after you make the changes that were discussed already, can you go ahead and send it to Alan on our behalf and ask him if he could go through it with that understanding, or he could send it to me and I'll send it to Alan.
Also, D number 25.
I'll send it to you, Johnny.
All right, thank you.
Number 25 is my last one that I have.
Okay.
In the event of any increase of cost due to granting of wage increases, employee benefits to field or office employees due to the terms of any labor agreement or rise in the cost of living during the lifetime of this agreement, such percentages increase shall be applied to all remaining compensation. We can't have that in there because when we do a grant, the grant's going to be what it is, and then if you need more compensation, then we have to go to the state and request.
Actually, number 25 is related to unions, but it's still good to have it changed. But that's a union clause.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think what we can do at the state update meeting, I'm not gonna be a part of it this time, but what Director Kelling and Director Nyman can do is let Lawrence know, and also Carlos, you're hearing this now, that we just need a little bit of time on this in terms of just redoing the, I mean, this is just for the application.
Right,
Actually,
so
really,
it's
just
actually,
Carlos, it's not
yeah,
even Lawrence.
it's not even Lawrence at this
Yeah.
point, you know, because we're still waiting.
Right.
We won't be getting our financials until February.
Right,
The
so it's-
mid-February we'll be done with our financials.
So Carlos, we're still gonna be looking at this and trying to fix it up so that we can submit it for the application as soon as we can.
Okay.
Okay, so there any other questions on 14C?
Thank you, Dee.
You're welcome.
Okay, 14D, so we already really talked about that, a little discussion vote on project application, so yeah, we're still waiting on our audits, we're gonna take another look at this contract. And then we'll be hopefully submitting the rest of what we need to submit.
Um,
So, you got
Right, so Carlos, you got something?
yeah, I got a quick question, but let me pull it up real quick. I sent out an email. The only thing I need to finish the financial application, well, besides the the contract and the financials, I need to know what the projected annual operations and maintenance costs, including amortized replacement costs upon completion. So I need to know that amount.
For,
For the pipeline replacement project?
for the pipeline replacement project.
Yeah,
And I think you sent me an email on that just yesterday, I think.
yes, I did. I just
Yeah.
need to,
I'll pull that up, Carlos. I've been working on a couple of other packages here
yeah,
for the district. And so I haven't had a chance to address that one specifically, but I'll get to that. Let me make a note. Get that to you. Let's see.
Maybe you were gonna say something else, Director Lyman?
No, the only thing, like I said, we have our audits, our audit is due by the 15th of February. So apparently he's got some more stuff. He's coming out on the 18th. And to do some final stuff with our 2 audits. And we should have the finals around probably by the last meeting in February. So we'll be able to submit those for the applications.
okay. And then as far also, as far as the environmental package goes, I need the executed or completed notice of exemption, the one that was filed with the county and then with the state clearinghouse.
No problem with that. I've got a copies of that in the files here, Carlos.
Okay. And I think that's all I need for
Okay,
the
are there any
environmental.
other Any other questions before I move on to item 15?
I think that's it for you, Carlos. Thank you so much.
Alrighty, well, you guys have a good night and we'll talk
And
soon.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy
New Year,
New
bro.
Year to you.
Good weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, before I leave, I forgot, Tiffany, can you send me, the signed, quarterly report so I can upload it too fast?
Yeah, I thought I sent that to you already.
Oh, did you?
But
Okay,
I'll send it again.
okay, I'll relook, but send it again just in case.
Okay. I'll
Okay,
send
you
it.
guys have a good night. Bye.
Good night now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carlos.
Okay, on to item 15, discussion about update on Cal OES Community Power Resiliency Allocation of Special Districts Grants. 15A, discussion about update on the purchase of the generators. We talked about that some on the manager's report. So we're just still, we purchased the generators, but we're still waiting on the load banks.
And once we get the load banks, we're gonna owe about $100 and some thousand, which we'll have to take from this, probably the CIP.
Right, we determined, D, that the life of those generators is a long-term asset, not a short-term asset, correct? And we'd be trying to take it from our long-term money that we've been putting away.
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so, any other questions on 15A? Otherwise, I will go on to 15B.
Nope.
Discussion vote update on the final placements of the generators. So we're still, Johnny, our manager, general manager Allison had talked about the sling he purchased and how we might be putting those into place, and we're still having to consider railroad ties. And is there anything else on that?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. No other questions? Okay, moving on to item 16, discussion about update on the water tanks repair and or replacement and funding. So this is that invoice that Dee had sent in combination with other things. So we did put in do you want to speak to the grant, Tiffany?
It was submitted, but no update.
Okay, so there's no current update. We, are going to be paying, D out on what he did for us. As an invoice out of pocket. Did you have something, Director Norman?
No, I wanted to ask another question. once
On
you're done.
16?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any update on that, D?
No. On the,
Okay.
wait a minute, I was kind of looking at my notes.
This is the, stuff we put in for the grant for the tank
Yeah, no,
parcel B.
I think,
Yeah, we just appreciate you got it done so quickly, Dee. We appreciate that Curtis and you guys got it together so that we could get it submitted.
Curtis jumped in
Yeah, we
there
agree.
and really did a great job.
Yeah,
No,
thanks
that's,
to you and your
So-
company and Tiffany.
What, this is not on parcel B, but on Elm Tank, there's nothing we're going to do, or what are we?
Got no money. I mean, we gotta get the one that's gonna be the most critical. If Elm started to fail, it would run down through the ravine, through the storm channel and not wash out houses. So unless we got a grant for 2 brand new tanks, for me, the priority would be parcel B.
Right, no, I have
I
no
mean, there's
problem.
nothing we could do. I was told the only solution to replacing it was trying to do the bottom. And when I talked to more experts about that, they said draining in, people walking around inside the tank to try to weld on it or bolt something in place would probably cause more leaks and make the damage even worse. So we're basically stuck.
yeah, we've, on that, yeah, I was wondering what you got on that, Johnny. We've done quite a bit of just that type of thing for clients down here. But basically what you do, I think what you're going to end up on that tank is you'll pretty much have to replace the whole bottom of the tank. I think it's pretty well corroded. So that, when somebody got in there, you'd have to have it down long enough that they could actually complete that whole project and take a little bit of time, cost some money to do that.
And since it's a 1966 tank, it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to replace the bottom of it.
Yeah, it would probably cost almost as much as a new tank.
So what is our possibility getting help from the state? Or do we wait till it becomes an emergency and then we?
Well, I mean, historically, it's always been deemed that if you do not anticipate replacement of something that has outlived its lifespan before its lifespan is over, they don't deem it their problem.
See,
You've been told that by the state as well as USDA. And that's why we gotta have the chip going, which is why many years ago, prior boards, it would have behooved them to start putting away the money for the tank. Until you guys started trying to do that and correct things, that's what happened. I mean, they should have anticipated 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that they were gonna need to replace these 1966 tanks and have the money already set aside for them, but they never wanted to raise rates. And now this board is stuck with the, oh God, what are we gonna do? There's another update. We have a couple tanks that are leaking, and then the state wants me to get the graffiti painted. Superior Tank sent me a quote, which the quote's gotta be wrong because it was the same amount to try to do repairs, tightening bolts as it was for the graffiti, and it was like $14,000 to paint over the graffiti on 2 tanks. I sent him an email, told him I need them to look at it again and come up with a realistic amount. Otherwise, I'll just go to a regular painting company and have them come in with the amount of paint and spray it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't see even why we have to spend money on a tank that's just gonna get graffiti again, but that has nothing to do with water quality. It has to do with aesthetics.
and
Moving right along.
those tanks all have fencing around them. No,
Yeah, they have fencing around those 2 tanks, yeah. Fencing only keeps honest people out.
yeah.
Truth.
Okay, do we have any other
No.
discussion, questions? Okay, do we want to take a recess?
Nope.
Is D done?
We are, let me just
20.
look at this real quickly, reporting state update. No, we probably need D for the mainline extension policy, maybe. Do you have a few to stick around, D, for that? We could move it forward if you
Well,
would
we
like us
have.
to.
What's next?
Sure.
No, we have, before that, we have the
Reform.
state update, but that should only take a minute.
Yeah, it's only takes a minute, so let's just do that.
Okay, so we're gonna move forward. We have 17 and 18 are pushed later in the agenda already. So we're gonna go to item number 19, discussion vote on reforming the state update meeting standing committee. I will entertain a motion to reform that committee and the members thereof.
I will move that we reform the state update meeting, standing committee meeting with, replacing Director Garcia with Director Schoenberg.
I'll second that.
Is-
Oh, no.
because
No, well, probably Rebecca should second.
Rebecca or.
I'll
yeah,
second.
Yeah,
That's
he's
kind of-
stepping down, so I think he can still second.
Okay, yeah.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? Okay, roll call of directors. Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Are you abstaining?
Abstain.
Okay, I'll abstain.
Director, Director Kelly, Director Gibson.
Abstain.
No,
You
No,
can't
we need you.
abstain because I have to
Do you
abstain.
understand what we're trying to do, Becky? Maybe that's where you're confused.
Yeah, that's why I'm abstaining.
That's okay. Director Garcia no longer wants to continue on the state update meeting or on this, where the,
I'm voting aye.
the,
I can vote aye because it doesn't affect me.
so he wants to step down
It's okay.
and add Director Schoenberg back in. So then it would be Director Nyman and Director Schoenberg talking to the state again.
During the
Is
meeting.
what we're trying to reform. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
And then any other director,
Yeah.
because it is a standing meeting, can substitute if one of us can't
Okay,
be
make
there.
it right. So you understand?
Yes, I understand.
What's your
Okay.
vote?
Do you agree with this or do you not?
Aye.
That was an aye, okay, so, Director Schoenberg abstains, so that is currently 3-0 with 2 abstentions, and that motion passes, so we have reformed the state update meeting standing committee, with myself and Director Nyman. And, again, because it's a standing committee, if one of us is not present, which will be happening soon, then another director will step in. Okay, item number 20, discussion vote on updating the mainline extension policy. So you have a copy of a, kind of a, preliminary mainline extension policy. This was originally approved by the Board of Directors on 2/13/2007. It definitely needs to be updated. I think we could just use your input as well, Dee, on anything since, there's, it definitely involves our district engineer. And, I think there's an attachment of prices and, I know our general manager was saying maybe we don't want to attach prices at all, or if we do attach prices, there needs to be something that, says that these are not,
Subject to.
subject to.
Well, it says estimate rate sheet right on it, so.
Yeah.
I mean, that estimate, it means exactly that. But maybe can we send it over to you, Dee, and then have you, look it over and see if there's anything you feel like we should add to it or take away?
Yeah, no problem.
Should we read through it briefly to just see if there's something that,
I've already read through it a lot. I think it just needs greater clarification
And probably the price.
on how it's written, because everybody looks at it, goes, okay, so we need a list of you know, what the bonds are and all that stuff, but we just send it to Dean.
Yep.
Then when he comes back, we can read over it.
Okay, so do you wanna look this over first, Dee, and then when it, then we'll put it on the agenda again to, address once we get it back from you?
Might wanna
Yeah.
review prices,
Yeah.
And then you might look at the prices also to kind of give us an idea of what you think,
Yeah, these are like way
because
crazy
these are very
prices.
old.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, no
double,
problem.
triple.
I'll review it.
Triple,
Okay,
triple fee.
That's all, B, thank you.
so then, yeah, we'll see with your portion, thank you so much.
See,
Have a good night.
Well, thank you and see you. When's it gonna
Okay, Al.
be? On the 18th, we'll have a conversation with Lawrence. And on the 23rd, is that right? 23rd, we'll have a meeting there at the district with Jeff and Emily.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much and have a good
Have a good
evening. The
night.
rest of it, that you guys
Sure.
maybe finally get to go home and spend a little time there. I'll take my leave. Good night.
okay,
Good
thank
night.
you so much.
God bless you.
Thanks. you.
Okay, so we're on to item number 21, discussion vote review the billboard lease. So, this we wanted to start looking at before it actually comes up again, because there were some issues, questions, pricing, different things that we had concerns about. So this doesn't have to necessarily be a vote tonight, but I think we should definitely, I don't know if we should read through it, go back over it and see what stands out.
My personal belief about this is that we seem to just be going in circles continually with it. I don't think they're capable of keeping the billboards lit. Every time they fix the solar stuff, the tweakers have broken in and stolen everything, so it's not lit at night. I don't really see that it's benefiting much of anything anymore. I don't know that the district even, I mean, we certainly don't make any money off the billboard sign, which wasn't the initial purpose anyway, but they're not capable of keeping up their end of it to begin with, nor do I want to take over the billboards. I mean, the downtown project still looks terrible. I haven't noticed if the lights have been fixed, but throughout the downtown area. But certainly nothing ever gets done as far as landscaping or any of the rest of that. I've talked myself blue in the face when it comes to that. So the only people really benefiting is the chamber. And nobody else is getting anything for it.
Right, but basically the way it works is if we don't do something in terms of an agreement with the chamber, it comes to us. So you may not want to do it, but that was our agreement with the county, is that it would go back to us if they are not fulfilling their duties.
And well, if it comes to a certain point where it's not actually doing anything or paying for anything, then it would just become obsolete.
I don't,
Does that mean
think
they
we
have to
can-
take it down?
There's no perpetuity clause and when Couch gave that and gave to us the agency for the rest of eternity, you guys have to maintain these signs. And it just seems to be a very difficult thing to do. And then that means we would also have to contract out with landscapers to do all the downtown project and all that stuff. I think it's something that you guys might want to just, try to figure out long-term what the overall goal is, because we've talked to BJ many times and they've said that they were going to work on stuff. And have you guys ever once gone by and seen anybody doing any kind of landscaping in the planters? I never have. Never seen anybody doing anything.
well, I think that we need to read, because I believe that when this originally happened, we had an agreement with the county when they deeded stuff over to us. So we would need to look at the deed, yeah, I know, but it's still, we had an agreement with the county, so we need to see if that agreement had. Well, I don't remember where that is, somewhere in our files, but I think that's the very first thing we would need to do. Well, the first thing we would need to do is discuss if we want to take it away from the chamber. Which would be the first part, and then the second part would be if we don't want to deal with it, because originally when we did that, and I think the only one of us that was, well, two of us were here, Director Garcia and I think Director Gibson, three of us, Director Garcia, Gibson, and myself, and I don't know, you know, what you remember, but we, you know, we did all the initial contracting of, you know, the sign, building the sign, designing the sign, all of that stuff, and then, you know, I don't remember originally, I mean, it was, desired by the chamber to have a participation in that, and we were asked by code enforcement to do this because they pulled all those other signs that were littering up and down, you know, so there was like a whole lien on us, heavy lien on us from code enforcement. And then, you know, and then we came up with all this, the county deeded it to us. And then we were supposed to, you know, work with the chamber to maintain it, but the chamber has not really.
Is the chamber even getting money? I mean, they were supposed to collect money
Yeah,
from people from the sign.
I
you know,
believe
but-
they are getting. So they.
Personally, I feel like we should just, you know, if you wanna review the contract again, but just let them do it again, and in the meantime, try to kind of decide, you know, over the next year, what our responsibilities are. We can't take over the sign. We can't take over the downtown project.
No,
We can't afford it as a district. We can't afford it with the crew that we got. Our guys aren't landscapers. They're not gardeners. They're not, you know,
right.
sprinkler people. They're not sign people. So we might as well just let them take it over for another year and then decide what our obligations are to that. Personally, I don't think very many people even look at those signs anymore. And obviously, they used to enforce the way things looked on Fraser Mountain Road. But you look at some of the properties, on the way down there, and it looks horrible. So code enforcement no longer cares either.
Let's start with Santana.
Santana,
Back when Dallas Green had his property, they made him build a berm and dirt all the way around it and put trees around it to make it look nicer. And I don't blame anybody. If I had commercial property and I want to park stuff there, I'm gonna park stuff there. This is, you know, supposed to still be America, but, as far as the signs go, we can't force anybody to do anything more than what they're doing. I don't blame them for not lighting it at night, because I've personally gone over there and found when the solar stuff was stolen out of it. There's no security. I don't know how you can make it to where they can't steal out of it other than make a ironclad steel, you know, box hung way at the top of the sign. Maybe that might work.
so what, they pay us $100 a month for the use of the sign?
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
what it's supposed to
we
be.
wanted to raise it, but they said they weren't making any money off of it and asked us at least last year and years before that not to raise it.
Say even if we raise it $200 or $300, that's.
You can't,
Yeah.
it's cap.
Do 15%.
Well, if we
It
change
was
the
just the
contract.
point I was making. It ain't gonna make any difference to our overall budget to get an extra $15.
Right.
So, but maybe we need to just tell them, you know, we need to see some type of work done on the downtown project. Something to make the planners look better and be kept up. So at least we feel like they're doing something like they're supposed to. Because otherwise, they built a sign, everybody gave us the responsibility. And then the only people benefiting from it at all is the chamber,
Right, because they're getting money from
all the advertising.
all the advertising.
And people are advertising, because I do see those signs change. They've changed people that advertise.
I
they
counted
rotate.
17 signs on that.
Yeah,
the other
I
night,
mean,
so $100 a
How are
pop.
they not making money?
They are.
Was a lot more than 100 a pop they charge the advertisers. It's a few, $4,000 a year or something. It's really expensive.
I need to make a trip through town at night and pay attention to the lights and just make sure all the lights are working.
I think that I think they make a decent amount of money off of it. I know you say you can't do it, but if we contracted it out and we took in that money, it would be quite a supplement to us. I don't know if that's something that we can do as a water company, but
Oh, I certainly don't think it'd be quite a supplement. I mean, I don't know if you tried to hire a gardener or anybody like that lately, but you know, you're talking hundreds of dollars just for the gardening if you're lucky.
if they're charging $4,000
Use a lot.
per person per sign
Per year?
per year, they're making money off of it, and where's that money going? And really, they were obligated to let us know, like, what they were doing with, cause that was part of this whole deal too, I mean, we need to.
Well, if you wanna ask them those kind of questions, that's fine with me too, but
They
I
did-
mean, again, I'll go
never
back to
answered
the
them. We've
managing
asked
it all. He should not be managing landscaping and sign repair and changing signs out on the limited. We already work on a skeleton crew and we all have multiple hats that we wear. And being also in charge of the downtown project, the lighting, the signs, the refinishing the signs, the replacing the advertising, it's not something.
It would be something this crew would be doing, it would be something that we would contract out if we did
We
that.
would have to be a CSD. We're only allowed to do water as a public utility water company. If we're changing and we now maintain signage and lights, we have to change to a CSD, and that, we don't wanna go there. Community Services District.
Oh, no, because then it's all
don't
now
think-
the roads and
Because
everything
now you
else.
have multiple jurisdictions.
Right, but
You
it's,
can't do it as a water company.
as a water company, I thought there was not being a CSD, that lighting was, but not everything, not the
Not
sign.
the gardening and,
Yeah.
I don't know, I think lighting too.
We just need to
do it.
Because they wanted us to do the falling star, or whatever that got changed to. We already qualified without changing for certain things, but not for other things. So,
We'd probably be allowed to do sewer and water. But we'd be allowed to do it as a special district, because that's what Gorman does, they do sewer and water. And they're a special
And
district.
those go together.
I think if you go outside of that purview, then you got
Yeah.
extra, it just isn't, it's not a moneymaker to make it worth our while to do that, so. We need to, if you want to, you can ask BJ, just say, okay, well, how much money are you making, where's the books to show us where the money is, and how come you're not able to keep it up the way it's supposed to be? Rather than us deciding that we're gonna take it over.
And we should raise the rent. It says it's $100 a month, we should make it $115 a month,
Make it a standard 15% increase then,
just a standard 15%.
because everything else has gone up.
Yeah,
every year.
And us sitting around talking about it now and every year is, worth the increase. And then if they decide they don't wanna do it, they can tell us why.
okay.
But that's only on this agreement, I mean, you could change it, but yeah, I mean, if we never raised it even the 15% over this entire
I know, so.
time they've been doing
At
it.
the 15% this time and then call it good for this year.
But then we still have to go, do you have any idea where the agreement or whatever it
Oh, with
is?
the county?
Yeah, we
I
should,
probably have it in the signage file. I've never looked for it, but that's where I'm assuming it is.
yeah, I think it's something that we should look at anyway, because I think long-term, it's gonna be an issue, and maybe there is something where we can see it, or, I don't know, we need to maybe think of a long-term solution, maybe,
Maybe figure out how to sell it as an asset.
yeah.
Well,
Sell the
if
signage
you want
product.
to, are they saying they don't want to get a lease for another year, or they do want to lease it for another year? Do we know?
We don't know. We just thought we better look at this before they come in next month.
Our
Right,
issue is that
so-
they're not our issue is they're not adhering to the terms of the lease.
I got that, but I'm saying if they want to continue the lease for another year, it's a pretty good indication they're making money off it. Don't you think?
Yeah.
But they always say to us that they're not.
I'd say it's some of the only business they're making, to be truthful to you. How many people actually are members of the chamber in town? Ace Hardware probably? I doubt La Sierra is, and places like that. I mean, I would imagine.
Isn't anyone advertising have to be a member of the chamber?
Oh,
Probably.
maybe.
Okay,
Let us know.
let's move on.
Do you want this back in February, or do you wanna just hold off till March is the renewal?
Well, why don't we put it back in February and see if you have any, or no, it's up to
Or
the
invite
board.
them in February?
Yeah, we should
Yeah,
be
gather
talking
the
about it
information.
before the renewal in
She's gonna
March.
show us the books.
So do you want them at the February?
Well, we can't just give them a new lease and put in the new amount. Can we? And then
Yeah,
tell them, sign
yeah,
it
that's part
or,
of the agreement that we could increase it, so we'll just increase it and have them sign it. I mean, I'm not gonna have the discussion with them again about the things that they need to be doing that I
oh,
feel maybe they may not be doing. At this point, I'm pretty much just good with whatever, just make them, have them sign the thing, pay the extra 15%. We'll find out in the long term what our obligations are. But I think it would be a good idea to think about maybe selling it to a business that wants to advertise and take over at some point. So then we don't have any.
Well, it's on our land though.
You would have to sell
The
land
idea, wouldn't you? Oh,
project.
Say that again, Director Gibson?
I was thinking that might be, well, it's what I thought is a possible way out, to delegate it to someone in the community that maybe has a big, advertises there, but I don't know, then do we need another contract?
didn't follow that, Becky. Say that again.
Okay, can we go to a business in the community and ask them to take it over?
Yeah, but who would that be though? There's nobody that I know of, no business person in the community that would want to take that over. Ray at the market or Mike Khalil from Don's or Ace Hardware. I mean, really the only people equipped to deal with that would be the chamber, but maybe the chamber could come up with some money to buy it outright. So we're not dealing with it.
You think Mountain Memories would do it?
Maybe,
Yes.
Yeah.
maybe they could funnel, that's a great idea, because they could maybe
That's a great
use the
idea.
profit
They need the money.
to do all the rest of the stuff.
And
for
they
the
would
Mountain
keep
Memory.
up with it
And they would
because
keep
already
everything
do.
up.
I could reach out to, I mean, we should assume that we'll give the contract back to the chamber for this year, but in the meantime, we could talk. I know Wade well, I can reach out.
Do we, they have been breaking this contract over and over and over again.
So we don't have
Or
to
do we
renew.
just talk to Mountain Memories and see if
Well,
they?
I think we should find out what our obligations
That's what I
are.
mean. We have to look at.
We have to do that first.
Right, but I'm saying Mountain Memories could pay us, could lease just the exact same way the chamber's doing. They have the ability they rent from the county rooms to for
So we
different.
do that in time for the contract renewal, because I don't know if this contract, but a lot of contracts say that if not officially renewed within 30 days, it automatically renews.
No,
We need to look at the
well,
contract.
that's-
and see.
But that's why this doesn't renew until March.
I know.
So
So
For the month.
I think it would behoove us to invite Wade from Mountain Memories to our next meeting. Or a representative, he's the president, but it could be the vice president, it could be the whoever. And see if they would be interested in,
Wade Jones?
Wade Jones, if they would be interested in becoming we would still own it, the property would still belong to us, they would lease it and they would fulfill the duties because the chamber's not. And we made a promise, as far as I know, to the county that we would, and maybe it's not in perpetuity, but they certainly believed that we were gonna oversee it and, along with the chamber when they deeded that property to us.
Okay. We flog this one, wow.
Okay, well, that's a great
I
idea.
think we need to find out the information though,
Yes.
as to what.
But they could also put other things on, I think that would be very helpful for them, they may be very interested.
I'll have the county contract for the meeting on the 25th. Hopefully.
Yeah.
If we have time.
Perfect.
Sounds good. Okay, so now we are on item 17, discussion vote on the district's record retention policy. Do we just wanna start first and go over the initial, pages, up to page, as far as we get, at least up to page 7? And see if there's anything in there. I know I had one comment. I don't know if someone wants to read through it. Oh, so lots of reading. Or you want me to read it and stop if there's something that's an issue. Does anyone have anything written up on this so far, between pages 3 and 7? I do, I have one thing.
I mean, I think it's pretty boilerplate, pretty, you know, so what is your one comment?
It's 2.2 and 2.3. So on the retention schedule, it says records shall be retained in accordance with the retention schedule. The manager is hereby authorized to destroy all obsolete records which have exceeded their retention period, subject to the media storage requirements set forth therein. And then 2.3, destruction of obsolete records. Before destruction of any obsolete record, the manager shall prepare an authorization to destroy obsolete records form set forth as Form 1 in Appendix C of this policy. Any authorization so prepared shall be retained permanently as provided in the retention schedule. And I just wanted to add that come before the board for a final, like, yep, go ahead. And I don't know if that would be under 2.2 or 2.3 or both. I just have it calling it a double check provision, or a provision where the general manager in the report is introducing what is about to be destroyed, and then we say, okay.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Anyone else?
Mm-mm.
Do we have any wording that we want to put in there specifically?
Just set forth from Form 1, Appendix C of this policy shall be brought before the board for final approval.
Where's that?
Before destruction of any obsolete record, the manager shall prepare an authorization to destroy obsolete records from set forth as a Form 1 in Appendix C of this policy.
And
Brought before the board for final approval.
Board. Final approval, and then everything else would remain the same. And then he would keep that authorization, so yeah. Yeah, that was all that I specifically had there.
So my one question would be, if we do an ad hoc on this, we'd be having to fill out a form. Would the ad hoc committee have to bring the form before the board?
The ad hoc would bring it to the general manager if you're having, or it would be written up in here because there's nothing that says anything about ad hoc. I mean, it could happen it could say before destruction of any obsolete record, the manager and or the ad hoc shall prepare an authorization to destroy, so he's not always stuck having to do it.
Okay.
And I have a question, would that be an ad hoc or would that be a standing committee? Because it would be happening for perpetuity forward.
No,
Are you gonna, well,
because once we get through and we set all these dates in here, then it would just automatically start happening.
Yeah, well, like once, I mean, we would, if you had the ad hoc committee, you would do it for a time until you got it cleaned up, and then once it was cleaned up, then
Going forward.
it goes on to the general manager to take care of that.
Yeah, because then like the boxes that Deborah puts out, which is, you know, consistently. Right then, there would be a label slapped on it, the date of everything, you know,
What was the-
2035, whatever it is, 2040. And then that, it would be stored like that.
Mhm.
Can we back up for 1 second to the last topic for this? I spoke to Mountain Memories.
Oh, that
And
was fast.
Quick.
have contacts, and they're, very interested if we could swing
Kind of
this.
feeling.
Because it would benefit the community a lot more
Then
going
what's
that
happening?
route than what we're getting now, so. I said it's very preliminary, we have to research contracts and all that stuff to see, but then I would let him know, he's working out in Valencia right now. So he could easily make a board meeting if we want to invite him to a board meeting, and then, so we'll just keep him posted on what you.
I would say we invite him to the next, I would say we do it before the contract comes up in.
Yeah.
Oh, heck, yes.
Well, we have to research the, I don't know exactly what Couch had spelled out in the contract as to who could rent.
I don't think it was spelled out as the chamber. I think it was spelled out as us. And then we
Subcontract.
spoke to the chamber about
Alright.
doing it because originally, I could be wrong though. Did Becky, do you or Jerry remember?
I think the chamber was in it from the get-go.
What was that?
I think that the chamber was, because they were in the negotiations.
Yeah, they were, but there were also all these provisions that if they didn't follow through with their obligations, that it would revert back to us.
Yeah, so that means they're not locked in, so.
So I think the issue is, we never thought about if it reverts back to us, are we even able to do it? I think we obviously would have to contract again with somebody else. But this is perfect because Mountain Memories is another community organization very similar to the chamber, but maybe at this point more responsible for doing things.
Right.
So when Tiffany pulls out the contracts that we need to look at, we'll review them and then go over it at the next meeting.
Yes.
And the information they're gonna need to know though is actually what people pay, so how do
They
we?
already know
They
that.
know, just look at who's on the sign project and ask them.
Yeah, they may already
I'm
know.
sure that I know at least a couple of those people that will tell me about what it costs to advertise.
Right, what they're paying a year.
Yeah. And then see,
Monthly.
and then start doing, crunching the numbers and see if it's beneficial.
Right,
Okay, so
Okay. So sorry, we went backwards for a minute. Now we're back on whatever this is, item
Retention.
17. Why don't we, if it's okay, why don't we move forward to item 18 since we're already bringing that up? And, or do we want to, well, first of all, we didn't decide. So, are we deciding on the ad before destruction of any obsolete record, the manager shall, or the ad hoc shall prepare?
yes.
Okay. And who is, are you gonna change this, Tiffany?
Yeah, I think I
Okay.
have the word.
Okay,
Yeah, cause,
Yeah, it came from the lawyer.
yeah, from the lawyer, yeah.
okay, so I guess we can wait for a minute on that,
Do you have any, what are other ones?
um.
see this thing says 1.3 where it says the district record shall be stored in a manner and location that provides reasonable protection against accidental loss or damage while ensuring accurate and prompt retrieval thereof. We are not capable of doing that. Which that's something that we should add to an agenda item. We need to, my personally belief, I'm just gonna throw it out there and then you guys can vote at the next meeting, is the old office needs to be torn down. Rather than dump a bunch of money into it, and then hopefully there's a good slab underneath that. And we could get the largest tough shed that we could afford and that they make, and use that for the records storage in addition to the other unit.
Is the old office, is that?
Oh, we went in there, it's, the whole roof has fallen in,
And the ceiling.
the whole
and-
ceiling. has fallen in.
Yeah,
It's not designed for,
And the roof is leaking, so you're talking, you would have to replace the roof, you'd have to do drywall. I mean,
Ceiling, the
it's not even
carpet
worth
that's-
it. I don't
was in
think
there,
it's
the
worth
floor
it.
was-
there's no electrical running to it. There's none, so if we had a big tough shed, we could put the warehouse shelving in there. It's set up to where you can actually read labels and see what's going on.
yeah, I mean, it needs, or file cabinets or something, it's always needed stuff, but we just never did.
Yeah, I think the trying to fix the old office is just throwing good money.
And some stuff that can be gotten rid of right away, like the old receipts that you can't even read anymore.
Right.
So we can put that on the next regular meeting agenda to discuss
February.
vote on removing old office and however you want to word
And tough shed.
it, tough shed.
Okay.
Because some of this stuff is like permanent, and so we
Yeah.
need a
We
safe
have to have
place
a
to
good,
put.
it's not gonna be leaking.
And we're not doing we never did, the safe deposit box was a joke that we paid for that never had anything in it but one lawsuit.
Yeah, that's too small to even. store
And it's
stuff.
tiny, and yeah, and we do have the fire cabinet, but that's pretty full. And we do have the other cabinets that are fireproof, but we probably need to get additional cabinets for whatever we decide to do.
Well, I think in the end, for those particular, you could have file boxes for certain things that will be destroyed, but certain things that are permanent, then you buy a file cabinet, a file cabinet that you put.
Buy a couple.
Yeah,
Well, the
whatever,
most important records are probably stuff that we've already got
right.
and like, but we have some extra
Right.
doors already.
When we do it, then we'll find out what we have and then we can
Well,
make decisions.
if you look at this, so let's back up for a minute, because page 4 says what absolutely needs to be maintained, and it's like records relating to the formation, change of organization or reorganization, ordinances and resolutions, unless they've been repealed or been invalid or otherwise unenforceable for 5 years, which right now we haven't purged any of those, but we could if we have new, like, so the one that we do over and over and over again, like the banking, I think, stuff like that, but minutes of any meeting, so those have to be kept, so that you can go back to them, records relating to pending claims litigation, settlement, or any dispositional litigation within the past 2 years. So it does end up still being quite a few things, but there's also a lot we can get rid of that that we don't need to keep.
But it also gives you on the other pages how long you have to keep that stuff.
Right.
Right,
Doesn't mean until doomsday.
some of them are.
Well, some of them
Some
are, but
And I have, some questions about some of them that are on.
But that being, as time goes on, we'll be more and more like the state, where the state prefers not to receive anything, paper. Or
Yeah, I mean,
very little stuff. So as time progresses, there's gonna be more stuff backed up electronically and less physical copies to have to retain in storage.
And I think because we have backup and we pay for multiple backups, that's definitely a good way of not having so much stuff.
Okay. Can we,
What do you wanna do next? Start with it.
well, are we gonna do this whole thing tonight? I mean, I think we should move on. And
You wanna pass the minutes and come back?
yeah, or past the minutes, it's gonna be 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
So I don't think we should be here.
okay, but we're,
Regular meeting in February, carry over?
Yeah, carried over to the regular meeting.
okay. Any issues with that? Okay, moving on. Item 18, forming the record retention ad hoc. Do we want to table that until we finish all of this?
Yeah. I'd make a motion that we table the, vote on forming a record retention ad hoc committee until we finish the, district's retention and approve the district's record retention policy.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelling, Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so 18 is tabled until whichever time we finish, so it'll just go, you'll keep track of that for us. Okay, so, on to item number 22. Review and approve meeting minutes for, and there's quite a few, so let's
Okay.
start with 11/7/2023 AP Standing Committee.
I make a motion that we approve accounts payable standing committee meeting minutes for Tuesday, November 7th, 2023, with any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that may or may not have been caught and that may need to be corrected.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call, any discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kellen,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Hi.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that passes 5-0-0. Those 11/7/23 AP Stand Committee meeting minutes are passed. 11/9/2023 regular meeting.
Somebody else needs to do that, but I wasn't there. Terry.
Oh, wow. She's-
I can't read that.
I know, that's
Come on,
awesome.
let's
Sorry.
Yes.
Go.
let's go.
I move that we approve the regular, meeting minutes for Thursday, November 9th, 2023 at 6 p.m. With any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may not have caught or that may need to be corrected.
I'll
Do I
second
have a
that.
second? Okay, any discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Abstain.
Director Nyman,
Abstain.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Hi.
and Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that passes 3-0, 2 abstentions.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve accounts payable standing committee meeting minutes for Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. With any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may not have caught or that may need to be corrected.
I second that.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Hi.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so the 11/14/2023 AP Standing Committee meeting minutes pass 5-0-0. Okay, 11/16/2023 State Update Standing Committee.
I make a motion that we approve the state update standing committee meeting minutes for Thursday, November 16th, 2023. With any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may not have caught or that may need to be corrected.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Hi.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, that passes 5-0-0.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve regular meeting minutes for Thursday, November 16th, 2023. With any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may not have caught or that may need to be corrected.
I second that.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Abstain.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Abstain.
Okay, Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that is 3-0, 2 abstentions. That motion passes.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve special meeting minutes for Thursday, December 7th, 2023. With any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may have caught or that may need to be corrected.
I second that.
Okay, do we have any discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia.
Abstain.
Kim Bo, were you here for that one?
Yes, aye.
Yeah, okay, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director, Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Abstain.
Okay, and Director Schomburg is an aye, so that, 12/7/23 special meeting minutes passed 3-0, 2 abstentions.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve accounts payable standing committee meeting minutes for Tuesday, December 12th, 2023, with any amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may not have caught or that may need to be corrected.
I'll second that.
Okay, we, motion second. Do we have any discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director, Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director
No, you're an abstain.
Oh, abstain, sorry.
The AP standing committee?
Yeah, she was absent.
AP Standing Committee.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the next one. I apologize.
He's ahead of himself.
Okay, so Director Gibson is an aye, that's fine. Director Schomburg is an aye, so that motion passes 5-0-0. 12/12/23 AP Standing Committee. Now we're on to 12/14.
I make a motion that we approve regular meeting minutes for Thursday, December 14th, with any of the amendments sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional for typos or other errors that we may not have caught or that may need to be corrected.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion seconded. Any discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson.
This is the one
Abstain.
she has to abstain.
Okay, and Director Schomburg is an aye. That motion passes 4-0, 1 abstention. And by the way, if you did watch the YouTube video or anything, you can vote on this, but obviously
Right.
you guys did not.
I did not.
Okay,
Okay, I make a motion that we approve accounts payable standing committee meeting minutes for Tuesday, December 19th, 2023, with any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that we may not have caught or that may need to be corrected.
I second that.
okay, motion seconded. Any discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
and Director Schomburg is an aye. So 12/19/23 AP Standing Committee minutes are passed 5-0-0. On to 12/21 state update.
It's nice of you, but they're not in here.
Oh.
The final two aren't written. I put them, I was being,
He was
I
hoping.
missed that.
yeah.
Okay, so we are tabling, or can I get a motion to table 12/21 and 12/21?
I move that we table the minutes for 12/21/23. State update meeting and the regular state planning meeting.
That
Oh,
was-
wait, I got that wrong. Well, oh yeah, they're both 12/21.
Sorry.
Okay,
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Schomburg is an aye, so those two minutes are tabled until when? Is it till the next meeting or the next regular meeting?
Probably the 25th.
Okay, so table to the state update meeting,
Tell the,
or whatever, regular state planning and project meeting is what it's called. Sorry about that. Okay, and on to item 23, discussion vote on future agenda items. Is there anything that we did not cover that needs to be addressed on the next two agendas? Okay, hearing none,
I
I
make
will
a motion
entertain.
that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, anyone against that? All right, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Diamond.
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Schomburg is an aye, so we are adjourning this meeting at 8:53 PM. Thank you very much.
Oh.
See you at the next meeting.
Thanks, everybody.